Hey everyone, welcome to PLNs. PLNs are professional learning networks. Some people call them personal learning networks. No matter what we call them, educators really benefit because, as we know, excellent educators are always thinking through the lens of continuous improvement. And sometimes teaching and learning can get lonely if you're in a small district, which I know isn't our problem. Or isn't our case, maybe I should say. But I remember my first 2 years in a smaller district, and I didn't feel like I had the network that I really needed to be able to ping ideas or share some success or ask questions that I bet that people in my teaching and learning context also shared. I want to walk you through the Bengal Summer Institute for PLNs. It has a introductory section, which you'll see an agenda here. The welcome video that you're viewing here will be housed here also. In the agenda, it will kind of walk you through a little bit about the overview. So this is kind of like the 10,000-foot aerial view of this professional development session. It is about 8 hours, and you'll find that a lot of this is can be done asynchronously, even though one of the requirements is to do a synchronous Twitter chat, but that can be done at any time. But I'll kind of walk you through that in a little bit. Major points here are introduction, time to explore, do a coaching session with me, engage in an online real-time Twitter chat. And if you don't have a Twitter account yet, this is the time to create one or dust one off from 10 years ago. And then we're looking for people to share out their ideas. To take from a network means that you want to also give back to that network. It's the professional thing to do. So that's what you'll find in the introduction. The Explore tab is where you'll kind of find some of the content to get some ideas about which networks are you thinking about. Are you already engaged in Twitter? Are you thinking about Pinterest? Do you want to find resources in Facebook groups? Those are kind of the main three that I go to, but you're going to find that there are a lot of resources that are added. For example, Common Sense Media has a great resource here about others that maybe look through the lens about social justice, maybe that aligns with our building goal of equity. After the introduction, you will find that Explore portion. The bulk of the work will come in these three areas: Twitter chat, coaching, and work time. You can kind of look through the bold headings here for Twitter chat in A, B here for the Learning Technologies coaching session. Just give me 24 hours notice on when do you have like a 15-minute slot that we can meet in Google Meet. I am in the office most days. Today's the exception. But most days between now and like the mid-20s of June. And then work time. The bulk of this is thinking about, okay, now that I know about some resources that are online for educators, now I want to think about what it is that I want to enhance. Do you have an assessment that you want to look closer at? And gather those ideas connected to the Twitter chat, connected to the content, to be able to take that to the next level. Is there something in your instruction that you want to look at? Is there a unit that you want to enhance? There might be, you might find much more than what you had anticipated when doing this. This is the double-edged sword to social media, is that you can plow through a lot of time. So maybe think about, setting a timer, 30 minutes at a time, especially if you're a parent like I am. So Twitter chat, coaching, and work time, this is a chance for you to personalize this session. And if you decide, hey, I want to ask some questions of Daryl first, go to the coaching first. If you want just time to explore after having looked at the resources, take the work time first. If you want to instead begin with people in other cities, regions, states, countries, thinking about what their best practices are, what their where their research is focused, to be thinking about what are best practices in your discipline, then maybe start with the Twitter chat first. But it's really up to you on what you choose to do. in terms of the order of that. And when I click back into coursework, the last piece of this is the sharing section, and you'll find two links here. One is to a share page. So my hope is that people will then share out a link to something that they have tweeted out, that they pinned on Pinterest as a result of doing this work together, and then share a link to that, like I have with my bi-weekly check-in example that I've shared here. If you're not feeling sure on how to hyperlink something, I've got the instructions listed right there. After you are feeling done and you've given some feedback to your peers, so once you've had a chance to share your work and give your colleagues in the group, at least two of them, some push praise feedback. Push meaning, have you also considered this? It's meant to be constructive criticism or constructive feedback. It's not meant to be, demeaning. We want to keep it Minnesota nice, but we also want to push people to think about, we all have different lenses, right? There are people who are in like a counseling setting. There are people who are in art that are in the session. So you might find that there's quite a variety, and I think we're going to really build on the work even better when we look at other people's work and get them feedback along the way. Once you've done that, you'll notice also is linked here is this Google form. This is where you will sign off that you have completed all those components, and that's what the information that I'll pass along to Deidre to get people paid for their 8 hours of professional development. I am an email away. My office number is 66559 if you're on campus, 506-6559 if you're off campus. And let me know what questions you have along the way. There's the ability to add comments too in the stream. So you can always click a little plus before somebody's name, and that will give them a notification by email that if you just want to put plus Daryl, and then that will populate like Google does. It will ping me or one of your peers if you want to put their name to get their feedback also. But I'm really looking forward to an awesome Bengal Summer Institute. We really get out of this what we put into it, so I'm looking forward to an awesome 8-hour session. This is fun to be able to personalize our work and to get paid and honor that time that we have together. And again, let me know how I can serve to facilitate your learning along the way, or the exploration.